should just do like a video.
Hello, today we're going to be doing a podcast on how and predicting who the best teams will be in the MLB for the 2025 season. So today for my guest, I brought Braden Hyena from Innings Insight, and he has his own YouTube channel, so I will go check those two out. But today's main focus is who and where and will the best teams be next year. I personally think it would be better. The Mariners had a good 2022 season. Made it past the Blue Jays, which weren't a tough team. But now it's just Dodgers. Everybody just Dodgers. But I think the Seattle Mariners will be one of the underdogs this year. Braden?
That's good. I don't totally disagree with that. I don't know. It's right now, the National League West. Obviously, you talk about the Dodgers. The National League West is a division to be reckoned with. Especially you have a team like the Padres, who it sounds like they're going to get Roki Sasaki, either them or the Dodgers. The Blue Jays have been named, but they haven't gotten anybody. The Diamondbacks, too. They just got Corbin Burns.
Yep.
They were so close to making the postseason last year. Ketel Marte
Fell
had
off.
an MVP-type season, but he got hurt, missed, 30-some-odd games. But, I just think the Padres might be the team. Nobody's going to catch the Dodgers, right, obviously.
Yeah.
But if there was a team,
it could be the Padres.
I think it would be the Padres. The Phillies have been good the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Obviously, they haven't. They got to the World Series, but they couldn't close it out.
Couldn't handle business.
Then there's the Yankees too, who went to the World Series last year. They didn't win it, but they were there. And it seems like they've, they lost Juan Soto, so that's going to hurt. And then the Mets, who got Juan Soto, and there's so many teams that could compete next year. I like the Mariners. I like that pick, underdog. The Blue Jays don't have enough to compete yet.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants are close. They're about one starting pitcher away and a bat in the lineup away from being able to compete with the Padres and the Diamondbacks. But really, if we're talking about the best team next year, it's going to be the Dodgers without a doubt.
Without most money.
If we're talking underdog teams that, might surprise people,
I would say the Mets. Because they made it far this year. Just picked up Juan Soto, which is huge.
Well, they made it far. I don't think they'll be an underdog because I think people are expecting them to compete.
Yeah, but they'll make the playoffs this year.
They'll make the playoffs, but I think underdog team, a team that people might not be expecting to do anything. Look out for the Tigers again.
Yes.
I know they were a playoff team last year.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't supposed to be, but they were.
Yep.
I'm expecting them to go back out, get Jack Flaherty, and they're going to compete again in 2025. I think they make the playoffs. I think they win the AL Central next year, and I think they're going to be a team that's going to compete. The Royals too. They're right up there with them.
Yep. What I'm going to think is the AL West is just a total disaster when you have the A's move to Sacramento, tear down their stadium. The only team that I think that two teams that can compete are the Astros and I think the Rangers and the Mariners. Astros will not compete with any team besides being a group that will another team. And Astros could be an underdog. They didn't make it around the first round. They were a 7 seed. But I truly think this year that the Astros will make a big compact on the baseball world and make the playoffs.
So, me, funny enough, the guy I host Innings Insight with, my cousin Christopher,
mm-hmm.
he loves the Astros. He's very high on the Astros. I wouldn't say he loves them, but he is very high on them. every single year I count out the Astros.
Yeah.
I count them out. Oh, they're not as good as they were before. This and that. They need the trash cans, whatever. Last year I did the same thing. I said they weren't going to win the division. They won the division. I also said they weren't going to make the playoffs. Obviously, they made the playoffs. But this year, I'm saying the Astros are not going to be good. They lost Justin Verlander. Altuve's declining. Carlos Correa isn't there anymore, and he hasn't been for the last couple of years. Just traded away Justin Tucker. I mean, you got Yordan Alvarez, but the pitching is
one player can make a difference.
Yeah, and the pitching isn't what it used to be.
Yes.
So I think I do agree with you that the two teams in that division, the Mariners and the Rangers, are going to compete for the top spot. The A's are just a dumpster fire. But who knows? To the A's credit, last year they were very good offensively. Their pitching was just horrendous.
Yes, they had really bad pitching. They had a good closer.
They had a good closer.
Mason Miller.
Yeah. I mean, who was it? JJ Bleday? Is that who just signed the extension?
Yep. And what's his name?
The catcher.
Yeah.
Whatever he's looking. I see his face. His little mushed face. Anyway, so the A's are a dumpster fire. The Astros aren't going to be good. The Angels might be worse than the A's.
Yeah, well, they don't have Shohei.
They don't have Shohei. Mike Trout can't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That pitching has notoriously been bad. So, again, I just think the only two teams in that division that would compete would be the Mariners and the Rangers. The Rangers had a World Series hangover. They didn't win it. No, they did win it.
Yeah, they beat the Diamondbacks.
They beat the Diamondbacks. They did win it. They obviously had a World Series hangover this year, so
yeah,
looking for them to bounce back and compete. They're going to get Jacob deGrom back. I don't know if Max Scherzer will re-sign. He's a free agent right now, but only time will tell. We'll see. They still got Corey Seager. They got Marcus Semien. They got Wyatt Langford. They got all those guys. They just traded
Evan Carter.
They just traded Nathaniel Lowe, though. So.
Yep, Nathaniel Lowe was a big trade. For me, the AL East will be the biggest division in the AL. Me personally, in my opinion, the Rays are just going to be nothing special. Like always, without that 1 year in 2020, they really stepped up, lost to the Dodgers. But to be honest, the only two big teams is Yankees. They have a lot of money. They just got Cody Bellinger, if I am correct.
They did.
And
to fill that one sort of void.
Yep. Another one, I could say I think the Red Sox will have a better year. I don't think they're playoff potential.
They're close. They are close.
They are
were
close.
in on Corbin Burns pretty heavily. They were also in on Juan Soto. Didn't get either, obviously, but I don't know. I'm looking for them to compete this year. They got a lot of young guys coming up, so that'll be interesting to see. I do think it'll be the Yankees again winning that division,
like always,
and then the Orioles right behind them.
Yeah, well,
we'll have to see how the Blue Jays do. I don't know. Kevin Gausman, sneaky Cy Young pick for the upcoming season in the AL, but they might finish third, or the Red Sox might finish third. That's going to be those two, but I do think the Rays will finish last.
Yeah. Let me take on that. The AL Central, like we talked about a little earlier, was Tigers, Guardians, White Sox. The White Sox are just horrendous. Their fan base is one of the reasons. Their managing is the other reason. And also their signages. Their signages will not help or will not do anything for that team. I think I'm missing one. Okay, the Royals. A really good player on that team, Bobby Witt Jr., who is amazing, but he needs to find the right team. I'm not saying he can't play on the Royals. I'm saying if he goes to a better team, he could be Bobby Witt.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, because he's just a rookie.
No, he's not. He's a Royal for life. He already signed that big extension.
Well, sorry for my expansion. But I honestly think if I could choose one team to beat or win this World Series this year, it's only one team, but it's not going to be the same year. I'm thinking smaller teams will step up, get in that position to play a team for that title. And when you think of the Giants, you think of Bay Area, you think of Barry Bonds, you think of Willie Mays, you think of the shot around the world. But people need to know the Giants will step up. They just signed Justin Verlander, which isn't that big because he's like 43 years old, and he will not make a difference. But it's a better pitcher for a pitching staff. Logan Webb is really good, but in this year, I think the Giants have a potential, or will just be right out of the playoffs. Braden?
Realistically speaking, the Giants are not right there. They might be worse than the Rockies this year.
Yeah.
Just to wake up. I mean, they signed Willie Adames, so it was a great signing. They got rid of Michael Conforto. They need to get rid of Mike Yastrzemski and Lamont Wade. Justin Verlander just doesn't do it.
Sorry to add on that, but
Rotation.
I think, I kind of agree. The Rockies, okay, they fulfill their players which Ryan McMahon, a star player on that team, who really isn't that good. Their pitching staff is absolutely horrific. But I think the Giants will be at least second or third if they can handle the Padres. Nobody in that division could handle the Dodgers. Too much money. Shohei, their pitching staff is amazing. Bullpen, they will just shut you out. And now we're going to talk about awards. MVPs, that type. Well, if you're thinking Cy Young, you're thinking, I'm just going to say long ago, like 2021 or 2019, Jacob deGrom, who, if he comes back and he's healthy, he might win the Cy Young. Because he has really good velocity to make batters freeze. Also, we have Shohei, who had a Tommy John surgery last year, and thinking he would step up this year, which I think he will. He won't be a Cy Young era. He will be in that top 3. And lastly, maybe it's a very close call. I'm just gonna say maybe Logan Webb. It matters. It matters on his ERA, matters when they pitch him. They can't pitch him like every 4 days, which the max requirement is 4. But you got to at least get him rest for a week or so. Because if you let him be there for a week, just warming up, he will be ready for game time. Want to add on that?
What are you talking about? Cy
Young, yeah.
Okay, well, my Cy Young, I had picked Tarek Skubal correctly this past season.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to add that one.
In the NL, I also incorrectly picked Logan Webb.
Yes.
But I will say Logan Webb again this year, definitely, to your point. I mean, he was just great. He eats up innings. He's very consistent. So I'll take Logan Webb in the National League.
Yeah.
American League, I don't think Jacob deGrom will ever win a Cy Young again because he's old.
He's done.
But
if he steps up,
I'll go bold here. I'll go spicy. I'll say Carlos Rodon
for
Cy Young in the American League. And to wrap up this episode, because I gotta go, for MVPs. Go ahead. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
MVP. Ketel Marte had an amazing season last year. But will he follow up? That is the main question. He will follow up, then it's absolutely huge, no problem, MVP. In the AL. AL, I don't know. I'm getting this feel in my stomach. Corey Seager
I like Corey Seager. That's a good pick.
will be in there.
You doubled up on the Rangers. You notice that?
Yeah. Well, I just think that the Rangers are going to be a better team overall this year.
So,
They have pitching. Okay, they just traded Nathaniel Lowe. Isn't he a pitcher?
no, he's a first baseman.
Oh, he's first baseman. I'm thinking of Nathan Eovaldi.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, they have him too, right? I'm not too sure. But if you just figure out those MVPs, those lists get huge. And another one. We know this year was Shohei.
Yeah.
It's going to be someone on the Dodgers, just definitely going to be up there.
All right. To close it out.
Soto or Judge.
My MVP pick, National League. Juan Soto. You took the words right out of my mouth. He's going to compete. If Shohei gets back on the mound, and he puts up the same numbers like he did a couple years ago, he's not going to put up the same offensive numbers, obviously, because he's got to focus on pitching. He'll win the MVP.
Yep.
He might win the Cy Young. Maybe. So I'll say Shohei. I'll be the boring answer. American League, to close it out. The American League MVP. It's going to be Aaron Judge again.
Aaron Judge. So thank you guys for watching.
Peace out. Subscribe to Cameron's YouTube channel.
And you guys have a great day. God bless.
God bless. Amen.